Coast FM 963. You're on Raw Youth Disability Radio. And for those Coasties listening in right now, happy Christmas week. Angus Hamill with you as always on a beautiful summery Christmassy evening. Christmas Eve to be exact, the 23rd of December 2020. Raw! And you might have heard a little bit of a harmony right there because we are having a bit of a celebration tonight as our last show of 2020 Raw. We are having a bit of a Raw-spective, a bit of a look back at some of the highlights of 2020 Raw. And who better to do this with than the man sitting in the studio with me right now, Brando Macmillan. How are you going today, Brando?
Doing all right, Ango, yourself?
I'm very well, thanks. Can you tell the listeners what's coming up on tonight's show?
Well, we're bringing back the classic Raw-spective, so first segment will probably be you interviewing me about my fave moments from 2020 Raw. And after that, the tables will be turned, so to speak, as I'll be interviewing you about your fave moments and what way to send off, especially in this time of year where we get the Harrys to talk about their favourite Christmas specials.
Yeah, probably our biggest and most popular and most frequent guests of 2020 Raw. Harry Squared, Harry Garden and Harry Martin are also going to be joining us to have a chat about their favourite Christmas movies. In the meantime, myself and Brando here, we're going to be doing the old reminiscing switcheroo on you guys.
Youth Disability Radio.
Coast FM 963, you're on Raw Youth Disability Radio. And because tonight is our last show of 2020 Raw, we are celebrating with a bit of a Raw-spective, having a look back at some of our favourite moments of Raw in 2020 Raw. And there's no one better to share this reminiscing experience with than my man, Brando Macmillan, in the studio with us right now.
It's good to be back.
Hey, good to have you, man, on the mic with me. Now, 2020 Raw, what a year for us.
It's hard to contain everything we've done and what we've managed to accomplish in just 1 year because we've done a lot.
Yeah, definitely. I think we have aired about 50 plus episodes, which is nuts to think about, and had some insane experiences, some insane guests. I know there's like almost too many to choose from, but what were your highlights, Brando?
One of them has to be The Vibe. It was a place I found on Facebook, asked if we can take part. Little did I know, until on the day, of course, the guy who ran it was the former lead guitarist of Screaming Jets.
I know, that was crazy, wasn't it? None of us knew who he was exactly. We just knew the director of the place, his name was Grant.
Yeah.
And we didn't know until he pointed out his full-on guitar that he used to write Better, their biggest hit on.
And that's what led us to Static, where we interviewed Cooper and the rest of the gang. You and I went to Hamilton. There was a bit of an April Fool's where you left and I took over for a bit.
Yeah, that was a highlight as well. I love that little prank we did. Actually, that was special, having Static on the show, because that was the first time we'd ever been to a concert for Raw.
That's true.
And we got to interview them backstage, had a little brush with Murray Cook.
Yeah, but there was also we did some cool field trips. One of them was tactics training. There was also, we started going global for a bit, interviewing people across the world.
I got to say, props to you, Brando, because towards the end of season 3, in the middle of the year, we had a bit of an international flavour coming to Raw. You were coming up left, right and centre with all these incredible international guests. I don't think this has been addressed on the show before. How did you find these people?
A lot of people think it's really hard, but it's actually really easy. I looked up a sport like blind tennis or goalball. I joined a couple of Facebook groups. I write, hi, I'm a part of a radio show talking about disabilities. If anyone's interested in having the chat about, insert sport here, shoot me a text. And they shoot me a text, and that's it.
It's that simple to really follow your dreams.
It really is.
Do you remember who the first one was that you did this successfully with?
Yes, it was the Canadian goalball team.
Speaking of goalball, we got the chance to play goalball.
That's right, yeah.
How was that experience for you, Brando?
As soon as I felt the ball, I was terrified. Can
you recap what the ball was exactly?
It was basically a basketball with holes so you can hear the bell. Stephen, leading up to the field trip, he was like, "Oh yeah, it's not soft. You guys are going to be fair." And I was like, "All right, you're just trying to scare me." And when I felt it, I was scared. I was generally okay, this is not fun anymore. Good thing Stephen was there to give me the pep talk. Be like, "All right, look, mate. ballet's next door.
He's good for lines like that, isn't he, Steve? I got to say, I felt honoured to be there the moment he handed us the ball, which, by the way, is shaped like a basketball, but it's kind of hard plastic instead of rubber. And the colour that drained from your face when you felt this ball that at the time we thought was just going to be pegged at us over and over again.
But luckily we were given the children's ball, which was much softer.
Yes, that was nice. What else stood out to you in this year?
We have to mention the wheelchair basketball video.
Yes, the first time Raw got the chance to do video content for social media, my good friend Dale joined us for that and was our videographer. Wheelchair basketball, it took place just down the road at Niagara Park Stadium.
Which also led to wheelchair floorball.
So I feel like overall we did better at wheelchair basketball than floorball. That was really hard to get the hang of.
That was way too scary when I was the goal and everyone got the ball towards me. Everyone had a ball. Oh, man.
Oh, yeah, tough stuff. But hey, props to you for putting your hand up to go in goals. But yeah, all in all, 2020 Raw was a great success for the show. We've come a long way. We've done incredible things, international guests, concerts, all sorts of events, all sorts of people. And Brando, thank you for doing what you've done for the show this year. And let's keep on roaring in 2025, eh?
Absolutely.
Now, we are going to take a little bit of a break, but when we come back, we're going to swap roles a little bit. Brando is going to be the one interviewing me about my highlights of 2020 Raw. So stick around for that.
Coast FM 963, you're on Raw Youth Disability Radio. Brandon Macmillan here, and to those who just tuned in, this is a bit of a retrospective episode right here on the show, or retrospective, some might say. Because before the break, Angus sat me down to discuss my favourite moments of the year, and now I think it's only fair that I did the same for him. So, Angus, what has been some of your favourite moments of this year?
Well, I think you covered a lot of them, actually, because a lot of my highlights from this year were the sporty-themed field trips we did.
Definitely did a lot of them.
We did. We got real active on the show this year, which was pretty sick. I got to say, though, one highlight for me in particular was how much we stepped up the guests that we've had on the show. Like, we've had some real big names join us on the show this year. Like, looking back to the very beginning, we had the OG Yellow Wiggle himself, Greg Page. Shout out to Chemo for putting that together. Ellie Mae Barnes as well, who's currently starring in a ABC TV series called Headliners. All sorts. I've just loved getting the chance to leave our little office here, our little studio, go outside and experience things. One highlight for me as well was I got the chance to face my fears by riding a blind, I should add, blind tandem bicycle around
that was wild.
around Leagues Club Park. I think I ended up being in a race with our very own blind daredevil himself, Steve Wheatley. So that was pretty fun too.
Yeah, unfortunately I wasn't there for that field trip. So can you give us a bit of a quick recap of what was that like?
Yeah, I really had to kind of keep my cool because I've had a phobia of bikes my whole life. Pretty much, yeah. I can't even go near one normally, let alone get on one. And the fact that the setup with these tandem bicycles was I was on the front.
Yeah.
And I had like no handlebars in front of me. And it was just like the guy behind me who was kind of steering and pedaling mostly. And I was just like pedaling a little bit. I was like, well, you know what? I can't chicken out. I looked at some of the stuff Steve's done on the show. Like
yeah, absolutely.
Surfing and driving cars.
A race car, mind you.
A race car, yeah, around Eastern Creek. So I was like, what's a little tiny ride around Leagues Club Park? You know what? That's not going to kill me. And you know what? I actually had a good time.
Yeah, I bet.
And we did I think it was our first on-bike interview for Raw. So another history-making field trip.
And we can't have this convo without mentioning the assembly. I think that was pretty big for you.
Yeah. The school assembly that I attended up at St.
You know what I mean.
Yeah, for those that missed it, if this voice is familiar to you at all, you may have heard it on a little show on ABC called The Assembly. Myself and 14 other journalism students living with autism got the chance to interview some of Australia and New Zealand's biggest names: Hamish Blake, Delta Goodrum, Anthony Albanese, Amanda Keller, Sam Neill, Adam Goods, Yeah, that was a pretty good experience. But going back to Raw, 2025, I'm just hoping we can just keep doing what we're doing because I think we're going to great places and maybe expand beyond the Central Coast. Maybe people in further, wider areas than us might be interested in being on our show. I would love to maybe get a few Paralympic athletes on the show.
That would be good.
We haven't done that much yet, so that would be really sick.
A little bit, but not enough.
Yeah, we've had Liesl Tesh, we've had Ray Anderson, who, by the way, just a month ago won the World Cup for the Paramatildas.
Woo!
So yeah, shout out to Ray, Coastie legend. But it would be great to get some more well-known figures from the world of disability on the show in 2025. That's what we're going to be aiming for. And you know the one person we've been naming all year as our end game.
Oh, yeah. Come on.
Dylan Alcott.
Yeah, Dylan Alcott.
So, Dylan, if you're listening, we want you on Raw. Please.
Please.
That's our goal.
Please. Anyways, I appreciate this chat, man. It's really good to take a step back and talk about, all the things we've done.
Yeah, for sure. You and I, we do a lot of looking forward on the show with our planning each week, basically. So it is nice to just have a moment to sit down and chat about the good old days.
Yeah, that's right, even though it's been like this year.
I remember it like it was this year.
Anyways, to those who just tuned in, I'm Graham McMillan, and I just had a chat with Angus Hamill talking about his favourite moments of the year, and you're on Raw Youth Disability Radio on Coast FM 963.
That's right, Brando, and thanks so much for doing that chat with me tonight. It's been so cool. I really love this time of year where we do get the chance to look back and reminisce on the best moments and the good times we've all had this year on Raw Youth Disability Radio. And if you would like to share your favourite moments from the year that was 2020 Raw with us, you can head to our Facebook page, just search up Coast FM 963 and feel free to shoot us a message or a comment on the promo post I put up this Arvo telling us your favourite moment of 2020 Raw. Or you can even email us at studio@coastfm.org.au. I reckon it would be so interesting to get your perspective on some of the best moments of the year too. Anyways, coming up, we are finishing off the year with two of our most prolific guests throughout 2020 Raw. Harry Martin and Harry Garden, our two resident pop culture gurus, are going to be joining me in the studio to give you a couple of Christmas movie recommendations to take you into the festive week. Coast FM 963, you're on Raw Youth Disability Radio, and would you believe it, we are in the midst of our last show of 2020 Raw. It is Christmas Eve, and there's no better way to celebrate the Christmas season and bring in the end of the year than with a couple of our most frequent guests on the show in 2020 Raw. Of course, I'm talking about Harry Squared. Harry Garden, how are you today?
Oh, great, and I hope you have a really good Christmas, man.
Thank you very much. That means a lot to hear. And, of course, Harry Martin as well in the studio.
Yep, good to be here, and Merry Christmas to both of you. Hope you all do well.
Thanks very much. Now, you guys are here to kind of wrap up 2024, doing what you guys do best. You're here to talk about a couple of your favourite Christmas movies. Now, there are people listening in right now that probably would like a couple of recommendations to watch, maybe with the family or by themselves over the next couple of days. Luckily, the Harrys are on hand with their expert advice. Garden, I will go to you first.
Of course.
What's the first movie you've chosen to talk about?
This one is a really deep one. The Muppets Christmas Carol. It's one of the Christmas movies I like to watch during this time of year. And I've already seen a couple of Christmas Carol adaptations, but this one tops the list with a really great, endearing, emotional performance from Michael Caine, and obviously the Muppets there being this quirky and blah, blah, blah. But also, the film is really, really great emotional pathos to it, which is expected from a Christmas Carol adaptation. I like those kind of stories of people changing from bad to becoming better, more kinder people. And yeah, I love watching that stuff, especially during this time of Christmas time.
So, Martin, what have you picked as your first movie?
Easily the one that I watched the most, National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
Oh, that's a fun one.
Great film.
It's personally, me and my dad, we always have our traditions of what we watch at Christmas. His is that, being a huge Chevy Chase fan, and it's always a tie between Christmas Vacation and The First Vacation, is which of those films is the best. I know some people say European, but I'm like, I still
3.5 stars for me.
It's half and half. But yeah, I always love every moment of it and how funny it is. But the thing is, as I always say, if I'm going to watch that, I've always got to watch my Christmas tradition, which I know is TV specials, but Merry Christmas, Mr. Bean will always be my thing I have to watch at Christmas no matter what.
Can't go wrong, especially when he gets the turkey all stuffed up, if you know what I mean.
Yeah,
And he
I know.
cuts down the tree.
Carden, what's your second choice?
Well, this is going to be an interesting one. The Grinch, the Jim Carrey version. This is a film I grew up in. Like, I didn't watch the Chuck Jones version of it when I was little. It's more the Carrey version. Like the film's not perfect per se. There's a lot of stuff aside from Cindy Lou and maybe Christina Martha, like some of the Who's I don't really care for. And of course, like with the other Grinch versions, the Chuck Jones version I did like. I don't love it as much as everyone else does, but I still like it. The Grinch, despite not being great, I still watch it every Christmas because it always gets a good, fun stuff enjoyment for me, and it still has that kind of heart to it as well.
I feel like it was the peak for Jim Carrey with how well known he became for his physical comedy,
Oh yeah,
especially his facial expressions.
oh yeah,
Yeah, the makeup. Yeah.
Yeah.
especially the smile he does at the beginning. That is
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
cool, especially in the trailer.
I don't know anyone else that could do that so well. Well, with that, Martin, it's down to you for the last choice.
Yep, and I'm going in a different sort of direction, celebrating two holidays. The Nightmare Before Christmas.
Ah, very nice. A bit of
Yeah.
a Halloween Christmas hybrid.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, I've always... It's funny that the film, it did okay when it was released in 1993, but has grown even more as the years have gone on. I mean, every year you see all the merchandise, and this is actually the first year I actually got any of the Nightmare Before Christmas merchandise around the time I bought a carry bag. But yeah, I love the animation. I love the songs. Danny Elfman did a fantastic job. Probably his best contribution to any media since he created the theme for The Simpsons. I love Jack Skellington. I love the characters, And yes, it is Tim Burton's idea. He didn't direct it. And in fact, he didn't really have much to do with the film at all. He only came in whenever he was available when he wasn't making Batman Returns. But I've always enjoyed it and continues to grow even more.
Now, one more thing, guys, before we wrap things up.
Ooh.
Because you guys are our resident movie pop culture experts, I wanted to pose an age-old question to you to end off the year. It's a dilemma as big as the chicken and the egg problem, Is Die Hard a Christmas film?
Yes, it is. I think it's so.
Yeah, I think you can probably say it's more of a Christmas film than Die Hard 2 is, but though you could classify both, I guess, because it's hard to go past both of them, and honestly, I think they've kind of both grown even more of a new life and respect for them since Bruce Willis's illness.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, it makes it a little bit sad when you watch some things about that. Yeah, especially some of the action scenes.
Well, there you go. It's come straight from the professional's mouth. If you want to watch Die Hard over Christmas, nothing can stop you. And not just that, some other fantastic options that you've given our wonderful listeners there as well, boys. I hope you enjoy watching those films over Christmas. And for the last time in 2024, Harry Garden, Harry Martin, thanks so much for joining us on Raw.
Oh, it's great to be here, and expect me be around here in the new year.
Yeah,
as well.
it was a great time doing this year, and I'm looking forward to what we come up with next year.
Awesome. I would expect nothing less.